Liver King, that lying bastard who was using, what, 15 grand of growth hormone every month and saying that he got this physique by eating raw liver and ancestral tenets bullshit. Yeah, I hope you don't remember, but today in this video we're going to talk about the best supplements for muscle growth, those that actually work, and what are the best supplements for overall health. We're going to cover both, and you will be shocked when you see at the end of it how small the number of supplements that are legal and actually work is. Because as you probably know, supplements is, multi-billion-dollar industry. Everybody thinks, just take a pill, build muscle, just take a pill, be healthy, whatever, or just take a pill, lose weight, and it doesn't really work that way. Let's go straight into it. All right, guys, so there are two parts. First is building muscle, second one is health, right? So we're not going to talk about weight loss because there are no supplements that actually help with weight loss. They don't work. Okay, there is now a pill called Ozempic. I did one video like 2 years ago on Ozempic, the pros and cons. You can, click here and check that out. That's when it was just coming out. Very soon I'm coming out with a new video because now, 2 years later, we have a lot more side effects and things that we know that probably weren't even known or were hidden back then. But if you want to lose weight, go check out rippedceo.com. That is my program that I put together, by far the best program of this type in the world, and that's a promise by a coach that's been doing this for 17 years professionally and has 1,200 clients transformed. Also, that is a program that you can just buy and run with it on your own. If you want to get one-on-one coaching and actually work with me one-on-one so we can get you in the best shape ever in your life in the fastest time possible, then you can click the link below this video. There's a very short video that describes how I actually got 1,200 clients transformed and how I would do that exact same thing for you. You can book a call there, we can chat about it. We're not going to talk about weight loss supplements because anything that you hear for weight loss is BS. It does not work. There's no weight loss supplement that works. Again, Ozempic does work, but with a lot of side effects, okay? And it's not a supplement, it's an actual pill prescribed by a doctor. The best supplements for muscle growth. There are only two that actually work. The first one is creatine. I've made a whole video on creatine, so I'm not going to go over that again. You can click here. There's everything you'll ever need to know about creatine is in that video, so please go check that out. For now, I'll tell you creatine is absolutely safe. It does work. Yes, you should take it. It's very inexpensive. Just basic, creatine monohydrate, 3 to 5 grams a day. Take it most days of the week, forever. That's it. That's the summary. But again, if you want to go way more in depth, click that video right there and go see everything there is about creatine. So that's the first one. The second one is a protein supplement. And this would usually be protein powders, and it can be protein bars, okay? So for protein supplements, there are two types, whey and casein. These are the two types of protein that you find in milk. 20% roughly of all the protein in milk is whey protein, 80% is casein. The main difference between them is time of digestion. Whey is very, very fast digesting. If you consume some whey, 30 to 45 minutes later, that's been broken down, the amino acids from it are in your bloodstream already. This makes it perfect for pre-workout protein. In many videos before, I've said way more important to have a pre-workout shake than a post-workout shake in the case that you did not have an actual meal that had enough protein, 1, 2, 3 hours before your workout. So let's say, for example, ideal scenario for taking a whey protein shake before the workout is, let's say you woke up early at, 6 a.m. or whatever, and you need to go straight to the gym. Like you're waking up and going to the gym within half an hour. In that case, there's really no real food that you can eat and digest in that small amount of time. Like if you eat chicken, breast, which is like lean and has nothing else, it's very fast digesting, it's still going to take 1 to 1.5, maybe 2 hours to digest that. So you want to have time to digest that before the workout. You can have stomach upset, not really feel well because your body's trying to digest the food and you're trying to work out and lift hundreds of pounds. It's not going to work. In that case, just have a whey protein on your way to the gym and you're golden. How much you should have in this pre-workout shake? 20 to 25 grams plus water for most people is more than enough, okay? You don't need more. Chances are, if you take like 40 or 50 grams, again, you might get upset stomach, so please don't do that. 20 to 25, more than enough before the workout. Post-workout shake is much less important, and the reason it's less important than the pre-workout one is because the anabolic window, meaning the time period after your lifting sessions that your body's at an elevated rate, building muscle at a much higher rate than it normally is, up to 72 hours long, up to 3 days long for beginners. For intermediate, well, like 1 to 2 days, And only for advanced lifters, which almost nobody is, it's like, 8 to 10, 12 hours. But basically, it's many, many, many hours after the workout. So it doesn't really matter that you have to, you don't need to chug down, oh, I'm going to run after my workout. 15 years old and started lifting. My buddy and I would literally, like, as soon as we're done, this was the idea of like window of opportunity. That's 30 minutes, which means if you don't chug that protein in 30 minutes after your workout, all your gains are gone. And we're like sprinting, back to the locker room to get our protein shakes, because if we don't, all our gains are gone. And of course, that's not true at all. That is ridiculous. So your post-workout shake, I always tell my clients, the only reason to take a post-workout shake, assuming you're gonna actually eat normally, let's say within 30 minutes, an hour or two after the workout, you're gonna actually go have a real meal. Awesome, you don't need a protein shake after the workout in that case. But let's say for some reason, you're gonna do your workout and then you won't be able to eat for hours after that. Your schedule is such that, you work out at 3 o'clock and you're done by 4, and your next dinner is going to, dinner or next meal is going to be at 8 or 9 p.m. Okay, then have a post-workout shake, why not? Aside from that situation, really the only time or reason to take post-workout shake is if you have, and this is a lot of times my female clients, have an issue reaching the amount of protein that I want them to eat, because it's a lot more than they used to. Okay, which is about why basically everybody's under proteinated, if you will. Like nobody eats enough protein. So I tell them, okay, you gotta eat this much, and they're having a hard time reaching that through whole foods. In that case, having a post-workout shake makes it easier to reach that number of protein that we want. That's when it comes to whey. It's very fast digesting. It's ideal for pre-workout. And of course, certainly you can take it in any other time of the day, not related to workouts. But remember that because it's so fast to digest, like 30 to 45 minutes, it's going to leave you hungry really quickly. So for example, if you work out, you just did a hard leg workout or full body or upper, whatever it is, and you have a 30-40 gram whey protein shake after the workout, you'll notice an hour later you're probably going to be hungry again because it's so quick to digest. On the other hand, the other one, casein, is very slow digesting. It takes 5 to 8 hours to digest it, and therefore it makes it perfect for any other time of the day when you're not working out. Definitely not before the workout. You don't want to, let's say you're working out at 4 p.m. and you take, casein protein shake at 3 p.m. You're going to get amino acids from that protein 5 hours after the workout. So what's the point? Like, it didn't do what it's supposed to do. Especially if you think about taking whey before the workout, it's going to allow or basically reduce the amount of protein breakdown that happens during the workout, which means your body actually has more time to take all the protein that you already have and use it to building muscle quicker, rather than if you basically, one thing you don't want to do is go to the workout hungry. Let's say you haven't eaten anything throughout the night, like nobody does, and then in the morning you're like, I don't really have time to eat. Let me just have my coffee and water, and I'm going to go work out. Cool, but then you're going to have a lot higher level of protein breakdown, so the body has to use a lot more time after the workout to actually build back to where it was before it can start building new muscle. Hence the pre-workout shake, especially whey. Those are the only two supplements that work: creatine and protein supplements, protein powders, protein bars. Of course, protein bars and protein powder being in the same group. One thing that I would suggest with protein bars is try to use ones that follow the 10x rule. 10x rule says amount of protein you have. So let's say you have protein bar that has 20 grams of protein. Make sure it does not have more than 10x the calorie. That's the 10x rule. So, and by the way, if you use this rule across all of your food, whether it be whole foods or supplements or anything else, you're going to lose weight without really paying attention to anything else. And of course, it's going to be hard because it really comes down to just eating mostly vegetables and lean protein, which should be majority of your food anyway. Okay, so as much as you can follow the 10x rule in all of your food, weight loss is absolutely going to become effortless, I guarantee it. In this case, let's say you have two of my favorite protein bars, Quest Bar and Costco Kirkland Bar. Get a copy of Quest Bar, and they have 21 grams of protein and under 200 calories, which means they fit the 10x rule. And you'll notice there are very, very few other bars that actually fit this rule. Most of them do not. If you have, like, I remember those Metrics bars that are like 30 grams of protein, and they're basically like a meal replacement, which certainly you can use casein protein, shake as a meal replacement if you don't have time to eat or you're traveling or whatever. Certainly you can either use a protein shake or a protein bar, but just make sure protein shakes by default, they're all going to fit the 10x rule guaranteed, and protein bars will not. So you need to really focus on let's say things like Quest Bar, protein, Costco, Kirkland protein bars, or any other bar that you find that is fitting the 10x rule, go with it, it's totally fine. Talking about the actual protein bars and powders, I highly suggest not having majority of your protein come from supplements. I don't want that, because that's not really the healthiest thing. Let's say you're a guy and you want to have 150 grams of protein, you say, well, I've had clients who say, hey coach, I got 100 grams of protein today from, a shake and a bar and another shake. And I'm like, okay, that's not what we want, because we don't want to eat supplements all day long. By definition, they are supplemental to food. They're not replacement for food. Just use 20-80 rule. At least 80% of all your food should come from whole foods, and all your protein should come from whole food protein sources. And up to 20% can come from supplements. In that case, it's totally fine. The one thing that I'll mention that's not really a muscle building supplement, but is a supplement that does work, caffeine. Caffeine is a central nervous system stimulator. It doesn't necessarily grow muscle directly. It certainly does not. However, it does give you a little bit of that oomph, like gives you more energy, so you're possibly going to train harder and therefore do more sets, more reps, or more weight, and therefore you build more muscle. So it's indirectly helping to actually train harder, which then can and does lead to more building more muscle. That is it. When it comes to building muscle, there's only protein powders and bars, there's creatine, and potentially caffeine is kind of like an indirect helper. On the other hand, when it comes to health, and by the way, all the other things that you've heard, testosterone, clenbuterol, tren, like all of these things that are, people who are roided out, which is like 99.9% of this industry, these are illegal for a reason. The hormones, the growth hormone, like all of these things are illegal for a reason, because it is supposed to be regulated in a way that not every moron can just go and inject a bunch of hormones and things that basically kill them, right? Because they're too stupid to educate themselves to know it, or they're too stupid, meaning they know that it kills them, but it's fine. You know how they say, that's a small price to pay for greatness. I'm just going to inject more. And again, as I said many times before, I have nothing against steroid users as long as they're open about it, which 99% of this industry is not. They're all lying. So when you see a guy like, just buy my $17 ebook and you're going to look like me, and in reality he's taken every steroid. And this is also one of the reasons why I say most of these fit pros that you see everywhere on IG and YouTube and everywhere else, they have no clue how to train. They've never needed to learn how to train hard, because it's just the golden rule in that industry is just inject more. That's it. That's how you progress. Just inject more. You can have shitty form, terrible training, like training programs that make no sense, like all the wrong things, and just inject more, and you grow muscle. Because we know in the 1996 classic study that basically showed that if you inject testosterone and do not train at all, you build more muscle than you do with the greatest training in the world without steroids. By the way, testosterone is a steroid hormone. It's the original steroid. So of course, when somebody's on TRT, the only difference between them and the steroid users is the guy is on steroids legally, if it's doctor prescribed, because it's a steroid. All the other guys using tren, clen, GH, all the other hormones and steroids, they're using it illegally. That's the only difference. Right? But again, welcome to this industry. So that's when it comes to building muscle. There's nothing else that works that's legal, and all the illegal things are legal for a reason, because they kill you. So if you want to die young, go take all the steroids. Like the only reason that I see justified for taking steroids, illegal ones, is if you're a pro bodybuilder, because that just comes with the territory. There's no way around it. Or maybe you're a Hollywood actor and you need to get shredded in very, very quick time, and like you have 3 months to get in top shape and build some muscle. You're not going to do that naturally, so they take all the steroids and inject everything, because he's going to be paid $50 million per movie. In his mind, it's probably worth it. That's when it comes to muscle building supplements. Health supplements basically come down to minerals and vitamins. And multivitamin pill is a great idea. Everybody should take it. It's basically like an insurance policy. You just take a multivitamin, it covers most of your bases. However, please remember, minerals like calcium and magnesium, which are extremely important for both for muscle contraction, which means they actually play a role in when you're working out and how much muscle you build. Magnesium is really good for muscle and the brain, like a ton of benefits from both. These minerals are physically large. So if you were to take an amount that you're supposed to, 400 milligrams of magnesium per day for men, a little less, like 350 for women, gram, or 1,000 milligrams of calcium per day, If you were to put these into one multivitamin pill, it would be so big nobody would be able to swallow it. That's why you very likely need magnesium and calcium, or very likely can benefit from magnesium and calcium supplement, meaning pills, separately from your multivitamin pill. A couple other things that I would note is vitamin D. Studies have shown that even people who live in Miami, where it's basically always sunny, like 80, don't take my word, 85% of the people living in Miami are deficient in vitamin D. Imagine how it is in all the other places in the world where, like in Bosnia now, we have winter where, you know, like there's a little bit of sun, an hour or two per day, or no sun at all. Like we're all deficient in vitamin D. So you should be taking vitamin D. Very likely, by far the best thing to do, as always, get your blood work done, check the levels of all the minerals and vitamins, especially vitamin D, and then supplement based on what you're really deficient in, okay? When it comes to vitamin D, there's some research that shows that the liquid one is has a little bit better rate of absorption, but again, taking 2 to 5,000 international units per day is totally fine. But please remember, do not take too much. Things like DEKA, which are the fat-soluble vitamins, there is such a thing as toxicity of these. You can't take too much. And by the way, specifically for vitamin D, when I was in triathlon many years ago as a pro triathlete, I would go for like a 6-hour bike ride in the middle of August, you know, at 100-degree weather. You almost have like this metallic taste in your mouth and almost like a smell, like you smell like metal. Like I remember my, wife was saying, you basically smell like metal. Right? When you come in, you're like, how are you smelling metallic, right? And that's basically when you produce too much vitamin D, and the worst thing you can do at that time is to take vitamin D supplement on top of that, so you really don't need it, okay? So vitamin D is one of them. Also vitamin E, vitamin A, vitamin K, all of these are really good that you're going to get. Most of these in the multivitamin pill, but specifically calcium, magnesium, you won't get enough. You need 400 milligrams of magnesium. It's probably going to get, most multivitamin pills are going to have like 70, 80 milligrams of magnesium. That's definitely not enough. And of course, make sure that you have a healthy diet, that you're eating a large amount of vegetables at least twice a day. Then you're going to get a lot of these minerals and vitamins from your diet, which is really the ideal scenario. But even if you have a perfect diet, you're probably going to be deficient in something, which nobody has a perfect diet. I don't have it, you don't have it. If you're the biggest health nut ever and like, no, I've never eaten pizza in my life, which I don't know who that is, that will be a miserable life. But let's say you do that, even that person taking, like actual blood work will see that they're deficient in something. Because our food is pollution out there, the soil that these vegetables and fruit come from, not as nutritious as they used to be 30, 50, 100 years ago, etc., etc. So just take a multivitamin pill. Any multivitamin pill is fine. I do not see any reason to throw money at expensive and fancy multivitamins. Despite of what they tell you, they all do the exact same thing. So if you just go to Costco and buy the Costco Kirkland brand, or you can get any of the like big brands like Centrum or One A Day or whatever they're called, they all do the exact same thing. None of them is going to do much better, but there are supplements that cost 5 or 10 times more than these, claiming that they do a lot better because they have this and this and this. Studies have shown that's not true. They all do the exact same thing. So basic multivitamin will absolutely do. Take one a day, not more. Add to that a little bit of calcium, magnesium, vitamin D. Also, one other thing to consider, omega-3s. If you live in an area where there's a lot of fish, or you just eat a lot of fish in general, awesome. You might not need omega-3s at all, especially if you're eating oily, like fatty fish, like sardines, salmon. But unless, and let's say on a day when you have sardines, you don't need to take omega-3s at that time. On all other days, you should. It's really good for you. Omega-3s are amazing. Like when you read research on omega-3s, it's like, where's the catch? And there is no catch. They are actually that healthy. So, guys, those would be the muscle building and health optimization supplements that are actually effective. They work. Really, most other things are just marketing and BS that doesn't really do anything for you. So please focus on these, and you're going to get all the benefits possible from these supplements. And please remember, supplements are not replacement for food. They never replace the food. They're not designed to replace the food. Most of you, all of these nutrients that we're looking for, micronutrition especially, it should be coming from your healthy, good diet to begin with. Again, guys, thanks for watching. Please go check out rippedceo.com and check out the link below if you want to work one-on-one with me and absolutely get the fastest possible result. Get in the best shape that you've ever been, guaranteed, in the shortest amount of time. Click that link below. Check out the video where I show exactly how we would do that with you, and then book a call if that makes sense. And I'll talk to you soon. Cheers, guys.